Make ready! Fire!
Welcome to Michilimackinac!
Sometimes it can feel like you're just barely staying above water, balancing the challenges of life. There's a lot of pressure in climbing to the top.
Oh, come on, people, what do you expect?
And without getting away to recharge your mind and body, to dip your toes in the water, it might be only a matter of time before you get overwhelmed and then you'll really get wet. Maybe all you need is a trip to northern Michigan.
Hey, welcome to Mackinaw City.
We begin a two-part series of the northern part of the Lower Peninsula of Pierre, Michigan. In this video, we'll start in Traverse City, the cherry capital of the world. Explore a couple of boat tours on Grand Traverse Bay, including the schooner Manitou. Travel up Highway 31 to the beautiful town of Charlevoix, a boater's haven, located on Round Lake, Lake Charlevoix, and Lake Michigan. Then to Little Traverse Bay, to the resort community of Petoskey. Over to the north shore of the bay, to Harbor Springs. Are you starting to see why they call this Pierre, Michigan? In Mackinaw City, we show Wilderness State Park, Headlands Park. We take you inside the McGulpin Point Lighthouse, to the dangerous trails on the point. But don't worry, I'll protect you. Show you a historic rock. Explore Colonial, Michilimackinac. See the old Mackinaw Point Lighthouse and the surrounding park. Take you on a jet boat ride under the Mackinac Bridge. Go parasailing.
30 seconds until touchdown.
Watch a lumberjack competition. We'll explore Mackinac Crossings, a Victorian-inspired shopping and entertainment center, where we meet a dog who will be happy to take your money, caricature artists, and street performers. Review some of the eateries. We'll give you tips on lodging, from RV campgrounds to hotels to lakeside cabins. In next week's video, we'll explore Mill Creek Discovery Park.
Main gear touchdown.
Take you over the Mackinac Bridge to the Upper Peninsula and then to Mackinac Island. We'll head east to the cozy town of Sheboygan, where we take a boat ride to some shipwrecks and lighthouses. So, hop off the rat race for a bit. Get outside, enjoy the nature, the waters of the Great Lakes. It's time to gear it up. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Come join us in Pierre, Michigan.
God save the king! Secure the peace!
Sunrise over the Mackinac Bridge. It links the Lower Peninsula with the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. In the foreground, Lake Michigan. In the background, Lake Huron. In Mackinaw City, we stayed at the Bridgeview Super 8. It's right across the street from the old Mackinaw Point Lighthouse and Colonial, Michilimackinac. Was pretty happy with this location. Had a room with a hot tub. Don't normally do that, but I got a free room with my Wyndham points, so might as well take the upscale room. Nice little balcony. Trees block the view of the bridge, but it's still a good view. There's another Super 8 that is slightly closer to the Mackinac Crossings and the marina, along with several other hotels, like the Cabins of Mackinac. It's really a hotel with cabin-styled rooms. It's across the street from the lake. Both the Super 8 and the Cabins of Mackinac are all pet-friendly, with a reasonable pet fee of $25 per stay. Okay, let's get some breakfast. We head to the popular Dixie Saloon, which is across the street from Shepplers Ferry to Mackinac Island. A great stop before or after your ferry ride. Gunslinger Radical Randy, with his vicious toy poodle Bella, walk into the saloon. This is a cool bi-level roadhouse saloon that first opened in 1890. Second floor seating overlooking Lake Huron. Delicious Belgian waffle. I think the owners also own O'Reilly's Pub, which is next door. Welcome back to Mackinaw City, but first, we take a 2-hour drive southwest to Traverse City. My GoPro stopped working, and there wasn't any place to get a GoPro in Mackinaw City, so the closest I could find was Traverse City. But it turned out for the good, because it's going to allow me to show you the scenic drive up Michigan's northern west coast. One of the things that makes Traverse City so appealing is its geography. Grand Traverse Bay feeds off Lake Michigan and separates into two large bays around the super long Old Mission Peninsula, providing several miles of shoreline for summer fun in Traverse City. We begin at the west arm of the Grand Traverse Bay at West End Beach. A free little parking lot here with easy access to the beach. On the west shoreline of the west arm of the bay is Discovery Cruises, with a 2-hour narrated sightseeing cruise on the bay. It is $45 for adults, $25 for children 2 through 12. Cruises run from Memorial Day to Labor Day. There's an onboard snack bar and full-service bar. For about $4 more, there's also a 90-minute happy hour cruise with cocktails and light snacks. Traverse City is known as the cherry capital of the world. Every year for a week, usually in early July, is the Cherry Festival, a food festival that began in 1925 to help attract tourists to northern Michigan. Well, it worked, because today Traverse City is known as a tourist mecca of western Michigan. Also here on the west arm of Grand Traverse Bay is the tall ship Manitou, a replica of an 1800s coasting cargo schooner. A 2-hour ice cream sale is $49 for adults, $30 for children 3 through 12. A 2-hour evening sale with optional dinner is $49 per person, all ages. The Traverse Area Recreational Trail is a scenic paved rail trail bike path that goes for 10.5 miles around both bays to the eastern shore of the east arm of Grand Traverse Bay. You can rent jet boats, pontoons, or jet skis with Blue Sky Boat Rentals. We now move over to the east arm of the Grand Traverse Bay, where Traverse State Park Beach is located. It is $11 for parking here, but there is full restroom facilities. Easy access to a 1/4 mile of sandy beach shoreline. There's a campground across the highway. Here you can rent kayaks, bicycles, beach chairs, umbrellas, and water mats with East Bay Paddle Company. Further down, beach resorts like a Cherry Tree Inn and Suites. We move further north up US Highway 31 to our next stop, the quaint little harbor town of Charlevoix, which sits on the shores of Lake Michigan on one side, and on the other side is Round Lake and the bigger Lake Charlevoix. This area is known for its small town charm, with its Main Street style downtown and freshwater fishing and boating. The Charlevoix Marina and East Park, where events and festivals take place. Here you can take a 2-hour ferry to Beaver Island, the largest island in Lake Michigan, known for its many activities for nature lovers. Near the drawbridge, a park area with benches to watch the boats go in and out of the channel. On the other side of the drawbridge is Staffords Weather Vane Restaurant, a renovated grist mill with an outdoor deck overlooking the channel. Michigan Beach Park sits on the south side of the channel with convenient parking near the water. There's a playground, concessions at the Bywater Cafe, restrooms, a good place to go swimming in Lake Michigan, that is, in the summer. A nice pier to fish from, the Charlevoix South Pier Lighthouse at the end, excellent for viewing sunsets over Lake Michigan. Sunshine Charters offers a 2-hour sail, $40 for adults, $30 for children 11 and under. Add $5 for a sunset cruise. From Charlevoix to Harbor Springs, there's a 26-mile bike path called the Little Traverse Wheelway, a scenic paved trail along Little Traverse Bay. I put a link in the description for a map and info. On the west side of Petoskey is where a couple of large resorts are at. First, the Village at Bay Harbor, a boutique-style hotel with specialty shops and waterfront dining. A 1/4 mile away from that is the Inn at Bay Harbor, a Marriott Autograph Collection hotel. They also have cottages on the east side of the main building. In the center of Petoskey is Bayfront Park and the Petoskey City Marina. It's a very well-maintained modern park with vintage surroundings, a large playground, facilities, a museum, a cafe for hot dogs, sandwiches, breakfast wraps, ice cream. There's a pedestrian tunnel that goes to downtown, so you don't have to cross busy Highway 31. There's also a very long walkable jetty on the west side of Bayfront Park. The Petoskey Harbor Breakwater, with a little Bayfront Lighthouse at the end. Way off in the distance on the other side of the bay is Harbor Springs. That is where we are headed. Just before you turn off on Route 119 to Harbor Springs is Pirates Cove Adventure Golf. Harbor Springs is a charming waterfront community located in a sheltered bay on the north shore of Little Traverse Bay. This area, along with Petoskey, offers an abundance of natural beauty, 4 seasons of outdoor activity. This is the deepest harbor in the Great Lakes. The Staffords Pier Restaurant, a nautical-themed seafood eatery with waterfront dining on a deck, located in the center of the marina. Next to the restaurant, a nice green space area with picnic tables overlooking the bay. They also have the Staffords Pointer Boat with a 90-minute cruise for $32. There's the Little Traverse Bay Ferry that connects Harbor Springs with Petoskey and Bay Harbor, with ferry service from May through September. A quaint little downtown district with a variety of cultural and culinary attractions. Just west of the Central Business District is Zorn Park Beach. On the opposite side of the bay is Harbor Point with the Little Traverse Lighthouse at the end. Okay, let's head back to Mackinaw City. Highway 31 begins to turn inland. We pass through a couple of small towns in Michigan, like Pellston, with an antique and collectibles store. Also here you'll find just a small town grill, living in a lonely world. All right, back in the Mackinac area. We start 8 miles west of Mackinaw City at the massive Wilderness State Park. A Michigan recreation pass is required for all state parks. The daily fee for non-residents is $10. Wilderness State Park has 26 miles of shoreline along Lake Michigan. The terrain is a mixture of dense coniferous forests to mature hardwoods, with pockets of meadows, small ponds, and wetlands. Next to the campground, a little beach area with picnic tables, barbecue grills, good for swimming, ADA crossover. There's also a dog beach here. The campground has 250 sites, 18 with full hookups for RVs, and 9 tent sites. Further into the park, there are 6 rustic cabins and 3 rustic bunkhouses. Now in Mackinaw city limits, 3.5 miles from downtown is Headlands Dark Sky Park, located on McGulpin Point. In the distance, you can see the Mackinac Bridge. While there is no overnight camping here, visitors can stay through the night for stargazing. There are visuals from the observatory that are projected onto big screen monitors of the dark sky. On clear nights during summer, the Headlands staff will bring telescopes onto the viewing platform. Across the street from Headlands Dark Sky Park is the Mackinac Historical Society Heritage Village.
We're geared toward 1880 to 1917 when the railroad came up this way and brought all the people. The population was larger then than it is now. The buildings have been moved here. Everything that's been donated is authentic to that time period.
It is completely free to visit the village. We now move to the McGulpin Point Lighthouse. To enter the lighthouse, it is $3 per person. Children under 5 are free.
The lighthouse was built in 1868 and operated from 1869 to 1906. By 1906, they had the one in Mackinaw City. The one in Mackinaw City was in a better location and could be seen all the way down the Straits into Lake Huron. We couldn't. So they decided to keep that one, get rid of us. It sat empty for 32 years. And then finally in 1938, a couple out of Chicago bought it and turned it into a summer home. They lived here up into the mid-70s, and then they sold it to another couple called the Pipplers. They both lived here until both passed.
There's a short scenic trail that leads out to the lake and a historic rock, but be careful. There's people in the bushes. I will use my recon skills. There's Charles de Langlade, a war chief, fur trader, and French officer. Oh, there's civilians coming, just in time to save them from danger. The trail comes right out at what is known as the McGulpin Rock. This rock was used 395 years ago by French explorers to gauge the water levels as they navigated in canoes along the waters between the upper and lower peninsula. The old Mackinaw Point Lighthouse, about 2.5 miles from McGulpin Point Lighthouse, is $10 for adults, $7 for children 5 through 12. While this lighthouse had replaced the McGulpin Point Light, McGulpin Point Light was relit in 2009, making it the one that is a working lighthouse today. There is a nice park area around this lighthouse that you have to take advantage of. A nice walkway, small beach, great view of the bridge. Now let's go back in time to Colonial Michilimackinac. Fort Michilimackinac was constructed by the French in 1715, and it became the great fur trade center of the Northwest. After the French were defeated in Montreal in 1760, they abandoned this fort, and the British took control a year later. As you walk through the fort, you are stepping back in time to 1779 during the American Revolution. The fort was reconstructed based on historic maps and more than 60 years of archaeological excavations. Interpreters representing voyagers, British soldiers, and French-Canadian merchant families are stationed throughout the fort to answer questions and perform demonstrations.
Ram down, cartridge. He'll take the other end of the sponge and take it all the way down. Give it a few hits. Prime. You take a long brass needle, just like the one I have here. Make ready. Fire. God save the king. Secure the peace.
It is $14.50 for adults or $8.75 for children 5 through 12. We now move to the harbor area of Mackinaw City. There's the Fishing and Observation Pier. Conklin Heritage Park is a lakeview park where summer concerts happen. And next to that is where you can go parasailing or take a jet boat ride with Mackinaw Parasailing and Jet Boat Adventures, which is just behind the Hook and Lakeside Grill, a restaurant with American fare with elevated seating overlooking the harbor. You register and do all your paperwork underneath this tent. It is $35 for adults, $31 for children 5 through 10 for a 30-minute ride aboard the Wild One jet boat. We go under the Mackinac Bridge, moving from Lake Huron to Lake Michigan. Technically, these two Great Lakes is really one massive Great Lake, as there's no land separation. It is only this bridge that provides the divider line. The jet boat ride is a combination of sightseeing and some thrilling turns where you get wet. The driver warns you first so you can prepare. Always love these jet boats. It's a lot of fun. Everybody loved it. After an hour break to dry off, I came back for some more fun on Lake Huron with some parasailing. It is $85 for a single flyer, $150 for 2 people, or $225 for 3 people. Flight times are about 10 to 12 minutes long. I had a little longer because it was just me. Nice views of the Mackinac Bridge and Lake Huron.
30 seconds until touchdown.
We are on final approach. Ty and Colton will help guide me in. First, a little dip in the lake.
Landing gear now down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Deploying the drag chute.
Also here is the IceBreaker Maritime Museum on the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Mackinaw. It is $12 for adults, $6.50 for the youth 6 to 17, or a family pass is $38 for 2 adults and all youth 17 and under. Next to the IceBreaker Museum is Veterans Memorial Park, which is also next to Shepplers Ferry, one of 2 ferries that will take you out to Mackinac Island that we will do in our next video. Across the street from the Parasail and Jet Boat is Animal Tracks Adventure Golf, one of 2 mini golfs in Mackinaw City. It's about $10 per person. There is also a zip line that goes over the golf course, but was closed when we were here. We will do some zip lining in part 2 of our Mackinaw series. Next to the mini golfs is the center of entertainment and shopping for Mackinaw City, Mackinaw Crossings. A playground in the center. This is a Victorian-style open-air shopping area. A nice shaded courtyard, a pavilion for live music. It's pet-friendly as well. For additional entertainment, there's street performers around the crossings. There's Bertie McLean, who plays an accordion with his dog Lady. Lady helps Bertie out with the tips. She will come right up to you, take your money, then put it in the hat, do a bow, then sit right back in the little chair. She acknowledges the applause, as if to say thank you. Bertie is a former Ringling Brothers clown and juggler who has traveled around the world.
I caught this one at Bill Gates. Poor fellow was hospitalized the next day.
There's my good friend magician Nick Sharp, who always draws a crowd. He is swallowing a balloon of death. Nick's wife Jennifer drawing caricatures. Getting hungry, gonna try a fish taco from Scalawag's White Fish and Chips, a counter-served eatery located in this quaint European courtyard. You might also want to try the Historic Depot, a vintage train-themed eatery with 20 beers on tap. For more entertainment, there's Mind Thrill escape rooms. $30 for an hour adventure. Also a haunted house with animatronic special effects, creating a haunting experience. $8.50 for admission. There's an axe throwing place. $10 for 15 minutes of axe throwing. Also plenty of shops to satisfy that sweet tooth. Like a Kilwins. Gonna try some Traverse City cherry.
Traverse City Cherry. This is what it looks like.
There's the famous Candy Corner, a landmark of Mackinaw City. Central Avenue is on the north side of Mackinaw Crossings, where there's many shops and eateries. Now, I'm not normally into fudge, but it would not be right for me to do a video of Mackinaw without having some fudge, being the fudge capital of the world. There are several places on Central you can pick up some fudge. I'm going to try Joanne's fudge because you can watch it being made here. They have every kind of fudge you can think of, even sugar-free. It is pretty good. Now, the one thing Mackinaw City lacks is a nightlife. Things kind of shut down early.
This is a happening city until 8 p.m. Then it shuts down.
Roll up the streets. Roll them up.
But hey, if you want that, South Beach is only 1,600 miles on the other end of I-75. Maybe I'm getting old, but I kind of prefer the less crowded Mackinaw City. Michigan has a rich history of logging, and the best way to experience it is at the Jack Pine Lumberjack Show, where two men face off against each other in a lumberjack competition of chopping, sawing, axe throwing, tree climbing, and log rolling. It is $19 for adults, $13 for children, 5 through 14. If you do this, you get a $3 discount for the boat ride in Sheboygan that we're going to show in next week's video, and vice versa. Near the Jack Pine Lumberjack Show is Mackinaw Lakefront Cabins, about 2.5 miles from downtown. These cabins give you the convenience of a hotel, yet in a rustic cabin where you can enjoy a bonfire on the shores of Lake Huron. There are also RV sites here as well. Pets not allowed though. However, a mile and a half down the road is the Beach House Lakeside Cottages and is pet friendly, only a mile from Mackinaw Crossings. And a little further inland is the KOA, which has a dog park. Also e-bike rentals, pool, disc golf, full hookups for RVs, and camping cabins. There is a nature trail here and a paved bike trail less than 2 miles to downtown. If I didn't have points for a free hotel, I probably would have stayed here. It's a really nice campground. How about a Jamaican dinner with a sunset on the Great Lakes? Probably my favorite restaurant at Mackinaw Crossings was this Jamaican restaurant, Taste of the Island Eatery. They have a large menu of island food, Mon. Reasonable rates. I'm having jerk pork with sweet potato fries. It was really good. Want to mention there's also a Taste of Asia restaurant too. Never got a chance to eat there. With all that fudge, I could only eat so much. Well, we still have a few more places to show in Mackinaw City, but we'll save it for next week. We'll also go across the Mackinac Bridge and take a ferry to Mackinac Island, which is so great we had to do a separate video of. We'll also show Sheboygan, another beautiful northern Michigan town. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Mackinaw City. What things have you enjoyed? As well as the northwest coast of Michigan. If you are traveling with a dog, you have to get one of these cargo dog backpacks. I put a link in the description below. It just allows you to take your dog pretty much anywhere. We are Tampa Aerial Media. We film travel videos across the USA. For stock footage of this video, or if you would like to hire us to film your city or region, contact us at info@tampaaerialmedia.com.
Very good.
Well, from the shores of Lake Huron, I wish blessings to you, wherever you may be. See you next week on the island, Mackinac Island.